Hi guys.
Hi.
So this is just a quick introduction of who we are and what our mission is here. So I'll start. My name is Kukwa. Most people who know me call me Miss Datsun.
My name is Leonie.
I'm Rachel. In fact, my name is Rachel.
My name is Matilda.
So together we are women in law. So hi, welcome. We just want to share our journey throughout undergrad all the way and how we're finally here. But today we're just going to start with like a quick introduction of who we are as individuals, who we are as a group, give like a few tips on how to survive. We'll start with undergrad, your LLB level. Your LLB level. So yes, I think I'll give who wants to go first? Leon.
Hey.
Oh, T.
Okay.
For anyone.
So, what I would say about LLB is first of all, believe that you can do it. Because the thing with law school is, in as much as it was an enjoyable journey, there were several times too that it seemed very daunting because there's a lot to read, there's a lot of lectures to go to, and I don't know. No matter what you study, you still never cover everything. So I'll just say believe that you can do it because there'll be several times that you'll be tempted to doubt, how far you can go. Because I, for one, my major experience in law school was the fact that sometimes I would feel like, oh, I've not studied enough for a paper. Maybe I should just, not go, because I don't feel confident enough. But then you go, you write it, and you pass. You see. So I think in my undergrad, I had always felt very confident before papers, but in law school, there was never a time that I would feel like, oh, I've grasped everything that I needed to. So I'll just say, make up your mind that you want to do it, and just see it through till the end. Because once you put in the work, and by God's grace, you should be able to make it through. So yeah, that's what LLB taught me for the most part. But yeah, 200 when I joined this group, where we had more of the in-person meetings, it made my studies much more better because there was a structure to it, and then things that I had missed. Because for me as well, like with Yvette, I was also working at the same time alongside doing the LLB, so it was quite a struggle juggling the two. So then the group made me catch up on things I'd missed out on in class and stuff. So yeah, find a group that shares the same goal as you and will push you even when you are so tired. So that's what I think LLB. Yeah, and LLB gave me this family that has seen me through to Makola, and now the bar. So yeah, that's the thing. Make sure you can believe in yourself that you can do it, and also find a group of people who also believe the same and can push you when you are tired. Yes, I will pass on to T.
First, what they are failing to mention is the fact that we all did postgrad LOB. So it wasn't
Straight
straight
out
out
of
of
high
senior
school,
high
yeah.
school years. So I already had a taste of what uni was like in my first degree in KNUST, and I didn't want to repeat my mistakes of what not really studying for papers and not being fully prepared for my papers. So when I came to law school, I was like, I'm going to give it my all. I can do it. And a lot of people talk about how law school is difficult and it's so hard. I've had people tell me that you won't be able to do law school, it's not for you, that kind of thing. And I just told myself that I'm going to give it my all and push myself. So, like they said, in law school, I didn't come to play. I was always in the library reading or at home reading, like always trying to study as much as I could because I mean everybody learns different, and for me I need to do a lot of put in a lot of hard work to be able to understand a simple topic. So that required me to give um putting like given a lot of hours of studies and stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't do anything different about law school, my experience in law school. And also I met these beautiful ladies who stressed me out. Yeah, they made the law school journey bearable, and you need a group of people to go through law school. Honestly, like you need people to support you. You need people that that even though I'm suffering, I'm not suffering alone. We are suffering together, and everybody is doing it, so I can also do it. Yeah, and they made law school bearable. They made Ghana School of Law especially very bearable, and I thank God for them. And again, I wouldn't change anything about my experience for law school. I think it was a great experience and very interesting.
You need a group, but the group has to be a group that brings value to you. If not, you'll be wasting your time. Because I know some people who study alone, even throughout independent, and they are okay. So the group, you need to be open your eyes and choose your group members very well. People who can push you, like everybody brings something on the table. So that is the kind of group that you need. That's fine. And then for LLB, if it's something, I think I noticed that you need to take your cases seriously, because I realized that the very cases you read at LLB, you use for your entrance exams, you use at Makola, they are the same. So if they are the same, why don't you grab them at LLB? Don't just go through them at LLB. Then when you get to entrance, you have to relearn. When you get to Makola, you have to relearn. It's the same thing. So if you're able to get them at your LLB, is the same principles that you would employ when you go up. So please take your cases. I know that when they tell us, we don't listen, but that's something, if I knew, I would have taken it seriously. But the very things they are learning at LLB, especially the cases, they are the same thing. So me, that's my take from LLB, that if I knew it earlier, maybe things would have been different. But apart from that, it's okay. It's not too much. Just take your time.
So we always save the best for last. Um, in every group, there's always that one person. I happen to be that one person in this group. I mean, those who know. I think one day I need to do, like, we need to do a whole video on me, my personal experience, all the way through from LLB to entrance exam to Ghana School of Law, and now we're finally here. But then it just shows that if you put your mind to it and if you have the right people around you, you would find it easy to navigate through. And one also very important ingredient is God. Like, whatever you believe in, Charlie, me, like, they say that law school bring you closer to God, and it's true. It is not a lie. I prayed the most in law school.
But why? Is it so how does it bring you close to God?
You see, when anytime you are going through trials and tribulations, there's something that you will turn to.
Something Pascal Evan talks about God being elevated in your time of weakness, like he's Menkai, but there's a verse like that. And law school really showed us that we were weak.
Honestly, because for me, like, there were so many times where I could have easily given up. There were so many times where it could have, like, I mean, there was a point I even gave up. I remember one time Yvette called me and blasted me that, like, cook, I tell you, go and learn, like, so that is what the importance of a group does. You should have a community, because in as much as you may be able to study alone, some people study better or they study best when it's just them. But then the community is not just for studying, it's for having someone to lean on when you are crashing out. Because there were times where, like, I'll be sitting down, like, I'll be studying, then by the time I realize, like, I'm crying. Why? Because what I'm reading, I do not understand. But then, why are you crying? Do you understand? But then, I would call Tilly, and then I'll realize that Tilly is also suffering. Somebody that I think, by now she has gotten the thing, but then she's also suffering. I'm like, you know what? It's not just me. So having that community, I think, is the importance. It's what makes having, like, a group important, and not just being able to study. Me, together. If I had to go back and, like, do certain things, I would just be Charlie. Me that me say, Master, I will do what I did now, because right from LLB to Ghana School of Law, my attitude towards studying didn't change. Me, it is God's grace that carried me. I always say that my life is a testament of God's grace. Adumba. My name is Adumba. I am a child of grace. So it is God's grace. Because the prayers that my parents are praying for me, maybe your parents are not praying those prayers. So but that's aside. Just like Leonie said, what did you even say?
Believe that you can do it.
Exactly. Believe that you can do it. Like Tilly said, just make sure that like you study enough. Someone one as a friend that I think he was a lawyer then or in law school when I was doing my undergrad told me that the cases will never finish. There are always going to be new cases every day. So I realized something. You don't need to learn everything. You just need to learn smartly. And Charlie, I'm even talking too much. Me, like I said, it's God's grace that carried me because there were certain times that I haven't studied anything, but then I would open the book and what I studied is exactly what is going to come in the exam. If if the thing that I studied did not come in the exam, I wouldn't be sitting here today talking to you as a lawyer. So just also know what works for you as an individual. Find a community that you can easily lean on and you will be fine. Trust God and you'll be
That.
fine.
So I think for me, I'll just add on and say that you just need to, like, law is a course that you have to spend and be spent on it. Like, you can't just come and expect that, oh, what you know about life generally will help you. No, it's not social studies. So what you need to do is make the time. You see, one of the things I tell people is that if you're going to write exam, I have friends who are studying and working and everybody's like, "Oh, they can go and study after work." I'm like, you'll be too tired. There are times when you have to take the leave, take a month off, take at least 2 weeks off, and invest that time in just studying and preparing for the exams. Another thing is also be realistic, as we talked about, even group studies. As you are preparing for your exams, you want to study with people, pick people who are close to you so that it's realistically easy for you to get to them. If they say group discussion is at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., it's too late if you're moving from a far distance. So then just find a place that's realistically close to you where you can easily make the time to go to. And it won't be, too costly as well. So I think just be realistic in your expectations. And another thing I would say is like there's power in showing up. You see, one of the thing, the main thing about all of us is that we kept showing up regardless of what we're going through, regardless, like maybe we won't come every day, but like consistently we would be coming. You see, so I think once you put in the work and you keep trying, you will be able to make it. It doesn't matter how many years it takes to get to the bar, as long as you get there. You see, so just don't give up, keep trying, and learn from others. There's some essential things, like you can't go and write an exam without having looked at past questions, for instance. So go to the faculties, go and get their past questions, recent one, past one, see what is the trend, learn from those ones, speak to other people, get their perspective on it, and just put in the work. It's going to cost you, yeah, both money, time, all your resources is going to cost. Yes, buy the books. Yes. Yeah. So if you want to do it, just put all your effort in it that first time and get through it once and for all. Yes.
All right, so I think what I'll just add is that one of the things that, like she said, you need to know yourself. Do you get it? Know what works for you. For me, one of the things that worked for me, and I made sure of that, is that I need to understand whatever. If I don't get the understanding, I can't write. So as long as I have the understanding, I'll do the memorization later. But right from the beginning of the semester till about maybe a month to exams, all that I am looking for is the understanding of whatever I have to read. If I get the understanding, maybe a month to the paper, that's when you see me doing memorization, like as in being able. So you need to understand it first. Then you also need to have the ability to memorize and reproduce. Do you get it? There are certain things that you can rewrite it your own way. There are certain things you need to quote it as it is. So if you don't have that mind that is able to reproduce, my dear, maybe you'll be marked down. But you just, for example, there are certain like definitions, and no, you need to get it as it is. Do you get it? So those are some of the things that worked for me.
So I mean hey they've already said a lot. And so I'll just add one thing. Try at least to touch every question. And sometimes you may think, I do not know. The little that you know that is in your head, just write it down. Because you don't know who's going to mark your paper. And I mean, there's a marking scheme and everything, but if they see that you have put something down, they can be like, oh, time beats her, time beats him. or the person has the idea. It's just maybe because, like, I mean, these people have been students before. They know how examination can mount so much pressure, can put you under so much pressure. So some of them are very understanding. So, like, never leave the exam room without writing anything. Like, never leave your question paper blank. I was talking to a colleague, sorry, your answer paper. I was talking to a colleague in the office, I think last week, and I was telling her about how our conveyancing paper, like our part two conveyancing paper, where we had to draft. I knew what I was drafting was wrong. We're not supposed to draft a vesting assent. It was a trust. But I still drafted it because I was like, Charlie, you never know. For all you know, the person that is marking my paper will see the question as vesting assent, or the person doesn't even know that it's supposed to be a trust. And no mark it for me because I knew I was wrong. Oh. I knew it wasn't a trust. Hey, it wasn't a vesting assent, but I took my time and I answered the question, writing what was required if it was a vesting assent. So never leave your answer booklets like empty. Exactly. And that too is what will save you. So that's the only thing I think I would add.
So what I would say in addition to all that they've said is strategy is very important when it comes to exam. Um During my preparation for the entrance exam, one of the advice that I got to receive from some of the people and the people that were tutoring me was that strategy was very, very, very important. We, even though like you are learning so much and you are getting ready to answer the paper, sometimes you can get carried away when you see the question and you see that question one is around an area that you've really studied and you've read on. So you want to pour your heart out on the paper. You want to give it your all. But I think sometimes we forget that the questions have marks apportioned to them. You writing 3 to 7 pages for question one will not give you any extra marks. Exactly. So just be strategic about answering your questions and make sure that you apportion an equal amount of time for each of the questions that you attempt to answer, and try to answer every single question. Like Kukwa said, the question that you leave blank, you don't know, the mark that you needed, you would have gotten over there would have been the mark that would have pushed you to get the pass mark, to make you qualify into the law school or to make you pass the exam in general. So don't leave. I was the type that would leave a question blank, and my answer paper blank if I don't know the answer, because I can't come and kill myself. I don't know. I didn't read on it, so I won't bother. But then I noticed how it affected me, because sometimes it was an idea that I had about it. Then when we come out of the exam hall, when we are discussing, I'm like, oh, I knew this, but I just wasn't sure. So please, if you go to the exam hall and you see the questions, there are 6 questions. They ask you to answer 4. And I'm certain about 3. The last one, I'm not sure. Write English. Like, fill that space. Put something there. Don't leave it blank. Okay. And I'm sure by the grace of God, you all pass and do well. Sure. All the best.
Rachel wanted to say something.
Oh, I said I was going to talk about for those preparing for the entrance exams. You know, some of you, it's not everybody who has money and can take extra classes or some of these classes. Me, for example, I didn't take any class. It was just my group and my books. So if you don't have money, if you have the money and you can pay for it for others to help, that's fine. But if you don't have the money, don't be worried about it. You can do it. You can do it.
In fact, in this group, I was the only person who took extra classes. Entrance exam. Sister. So for the entrance exam, I was the only person who took extra classes. They didn't take extra classes, but then they benefited from my.
I took the money for the extra classes, but I couldn't go because it was.
She spent it. And the good thing about one person in the group going for the extra classes was whatever information I got, I would bring it back to the group and we would discuss it more and try to like understand it better. So, but then you can study without the extra classes and still make it, because I think that there a few people that we know that didn't do extra classes, they didn't have groups, but then they still studied, and by God's grace, they made it. So you'll be fine. Are we done?
Yeah, then for those of you who have information, share it. If you share, you won't die. Do you get it? There's not like position first, second, third, fourth. If you pass your entrance exam, someone else comes. So please, if you have the information and someone is asking you of it, just share it. You won't die. Like it won't let you lose your place or anything. Sharing is caring, okay? Don't
Like,
especially study materials. 'cause
yeah.
there were people
Like,
like that in our
I never
class.
understood.
Hey, if you ask them for something, even if you ask them to explain to you, they will not explain to you. And in my head,
Yeah.
I'm like, you explaining to me even gives you a better understanding, because it goes to prove that I really know this thing. So when it comes to reproducing, it's even easier. But I mean, everybody and how they are. Me, if you come and ask me, if I don't tell you, it's not because it's because I don't know. It's not because I don't have. It's because I don't.
share, okay? You won't lose anything. Share. Let me
Okay,
get
guys.
everything. I think we're done.
Yeah, that I'll just say also that don't like one of the things for me for entrance exam in particular, I didn't feel prepared at all. What I used to prepare for entrance exam were summarized notes, from one of the tutors who was, offering classes during that period. And one thing about me is I like to learn everything in depth. I remember I started with my contract law book, and I got halfway through and I realized that I wouldn't be able to finish in time for the paper. So I had to stop and adopt a new plan, which was to just get summaries of all the topics, all the courses, and then just study that. Even with that, I think looking at the trend of the questions, criminal law wasn't featuring very much. So then I spent little time on that. But then the other courses, I focused all my energies on that. So always don't be so stuck to a plan that you don't reassess if it's not working for you in that period. Because I realized that I had less than 2 weeks to the exam and I wasn't, I hadn't really grasped much. So I had to take my time and go over the my approach, and I got the summaries and it helped me through. So because our time was just two questions that came for two areas, so I made sure that the summaries, as for those ones I had really understood it and I could answer it well. So always take the time to reassess your approach and see if you can make any changes to help you in that course. So all the best to you all, and don't
The
give
last
up.
thing we
Yes.
would like to add is the God factor. Please, as you are getting ready for your papers, whether it's your entrance exam into your LLB or your entrance exam into the Ghana School of Law, pray.
Last thing to add is that in the whole law school journey, especially if you do it with a group, you'll be tempted to sometimes compare. But one thing you have to be grounded in is in yourself and in the fact that God has a specific plan for you as well. So I think that's one thing that we try so hard as a group not to do. We realize that everybody is different, and then God deals with all of us in different ways. So even with like we mentioned, like you might not make it the first time, whatever be the case, don't let it make you doubt God or doubt the plans that God has for you. Your story is just different, your path is different, and just understand that and keep showing up and putting in the work. Eventually it will work for you, and it will be better for those reasons. God himself knows. So don't try and make your story the same as everybody else's. It might not work like ours did for us, but still believe that God has a plan for you and allow him to reveal that plan in its due time.
Well, this is your sign. Join that group that you've been avoiding. This is your sign so that you all can come out together. Okay.
Okay, so thank you guys. Yeah, so we're going to be doing more of these videos just to encourage especially young women, because we find ourselves in that category. Sometimes when you're starting a new journey, there's so much information everywhere and it can become a bit overwhelming. You're like, what should I listen to? Who should I listen to? Where should I go to? That sort of thing. So thank you for watching to the end and see you next time. Bye.